What's going on, everybody? You know who it is. It's Coach Heather, and today we're doing something a little bit different. So, tomorrow is New Year's Eve. When that clock hits midnight, it'll be New Year's, and it will be 2026. And with 2026 on its way, 2025 comes to a close, and it is officially going to be halfway finished with the decade of the 2020s. Now, with it being halfway in the 2020s, I thought, you know what? Let me do my top 100 matches, favorite matches of 2020s so far. Now, the criteria for this is you just have to be a match in 2020. It has to be at least 2 men or 2 female in the ring, and an opening bell and a closing bell, and that's it. It can be any promotion, any local promotion, any, promotion on TV, local promotion, whatever. That is all up for grabs. Now, also, I did not rank these from, the worst match to the best match, or the best match to the worst match. Put all the matches on a wheel, spun the wheel, and whatever match it gave me is what order they went down. So, again, no particular order. I just randomized the wheel, and this is the order it gave me. And we're going to start off with Sami Zayn versus Ilya Dragunov, SmackDown, October 17th, 2025. These two, oh my gosh, these two threw everything out there. Hard hitting, back and forth, and it had a very shocking ending with the returning Ilya Dragunov winning the United States Championship. And I expected the MFTs to come out and make it a no contest, especially when Solo Sikoa hit the ramp. I said, okay, here comes the MFTs, and then Ilya ends up winning the match. It was a fantastic match. It was a very unexpected, shocking result with Ilya winning. Shocking when Ilya returned. We've been waiting on his return for months, and we finally get it in this match. And it's just, from start to finish, even when the Americans were on commercial break, and the international people were still watching SmackDown, it was a fantastic match. I had rewatched this on YouTube a little while ago, and they were pulling out some of the hardest hitting kicks and punches I've ever seen. I believe it was a Torpedo Moscow this wasn't during a commercial, this was towards the end of the match. Torpedo Moscow getting reversed into a haluva kick. Beautiful. Fantastic match. Next, I'm cheating a little bit, but it's my list, so deal with it. We go to Championship Wrestling from Memphis, and we go to Tim Bosby versus Marco Stunt. The reason I'm cheating a little bit is because in 2025, they had a total of 3 matches, and I'm not cheating. Pick one, or as I'm doing, all 3. Literally, anytime these two get in the ring, it is going to be a fantastic match. No doubt. And the thing about it, minus the first match. The first match did have something up for stakes. But the second and third match, nothing. Nothing that I can remember anyways. And they still went out there and put everything they had and left it in the ring. I mean, they just the technical prowess of Tim Bosby, the high flying, just amazing Marco Stunt, or not Marco Stunt. I think I've said Marco Stunt through this whole thing. Marco Harris was his name, or is his name. I knew I was gonna do that. It was not Marco Stunt, it was Marco Harris. But yeah, the high flying ability of Marco Harris was just absolutely fantastic through and through. I hope we can revisit this again. I hope it's for the Memphis Heritage Championship. But honestly, if it's not, if it's just these two going at it again for nothing, sign me up. I'm down. They could literally fight every single week, and I'm not gonna complain. Next, we go to Evolution 2025, and we go to Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria versus Bayley. Now, Becky and Lyra already was having a fantastic feud with fantastic matches. So yeah, Becky and Lyra already was having a banger of a feud and just instant classic matches. But adding Bayley to the mix just added this next level dynamic. And these three put on a classic. These three, I hope in some way that we can revisit this, because these three were just absolutely fantastic from start to finish. Some of the bumps they were taking, I believe it was Lyra doing dives. It was just amazing. The feud building up to this as well was fantastic. Just everything about this match was amazing. Next, we go to Night of Champions 2023. We go to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn taking on Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa for the Tag Team Championships. If you want a match that's fantastic in ring, that is just absolutely fantastic in ring, has loads of storytelling, loads of drama, and it's just a fantastic match, start to finish, all the way around with everything, this is it. This was just another small, tiny puzzle piece in the beautiful puzzle that was the Bloodline storyline. When I tell you this match had everything from Roman's facial expressions and in-ring storytelling to the ending with the Usos super kicking Solo Sikoa, accidentally super kicking Solo Sikoa, and then purposely super kicking Roman Reigns. It was just beautiful and cinema from start to finish. Again, this was just another itty bitty piece of the huge puzzle that was the amazing Bloodline storyline. Next, we go back to Championship Wrestling from Memphis, and we go to the Super Bout of 2022. The Posse versus the Young Goats for the Memphis Wrestling Tag Team Champions. Now, the story building up to this match was absolutely chef's kiss. It was, oh my gosh, from the Posse doing what I thought could never be done with the Posse and turning heel on Christmas Day of all days, injuring Aaron Roberts' his eye, then costing Justin Cole the Grind City Rumble, the Young Goats coming out and attacking the posse, and then, yeah, that was the start of 2022. They came out, attacked the posse, had a wild brawl, had to get separated, and then this match. You had, say, Washington get dropped on steel stairs back first. You had Aaron Roberts get dropped back first on steel stairs. You had Simon putting salt in Aaron Roberts' eye, which was already not 100% going into this match because of the spike in the eye a few months prior. And then the ending of the match being Say Washington getting low blowed because he was saving his, maybe a coach or friend. I don't remember who the guy was, but I think it was his coach or something. Saving him from getting his eye poked out with the spike, and then Chris low blowing Zay and pinning him 1, 2, 3. Now I do have a critique of this match, and that is I wish it didn't end with the low blow. I wish it was a low blow followed by a tag team finisher, low blow followed by, a choke slam or a full Nelson slam, just another move after the low blow would have been perfect. But take nothing away, this match was still an amazing, fantastic match. And being there live, I wasn't at this one. No, I wasn't at this one, so scratch that. But yeah, this match was just absolutely fantastic. Next, we go to the Royal Rumble of 2021. We go to Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Now, I do believe that I'm right in saying this was their best match they've had. This match was so good. It was a last man standing. Yeah, it did have a little bit of a fumble moment right there towards the end with the handcuff botch. But it still was a fantastic. For crying out loud, Kevin Owens got ran over by a golf cart. They threw everything they had at each other. And then, like I said, just the cherry on top was Kevin Owens getting hit by a golf cart. It was a fantastic match. I remember watching it and being completely just, what's the word? Just amazed. And just going out of this match that match is one of the greatest matches of 2021. Of the year. It's like, this was a fantastic match. And I'm giving it a little bit of a bonus point because it was at the Royal Rumble, and it was in the Royal Rumble, or it was on the Royal Rumble PLE that just so happened to fall on my birthday. So I loved it. I loved everything about it. So yeah, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, Royal Rumble 2021. This next match, you forgot about. I know you did. You know how I know you did? Because I forgot about it. Until I was, going through every PLE of the 2020s, and just looking back at matches, I forgot about this match. But when I got reminded, I remember of the match. And we go to NXT In Your House 2021. Pete Dunne, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Johnny Gargano, and Karrion Kross, Fatal 5-Way for the NXT Championship. What a match. You had Pete Dunne, who, to the wider range of fans. This was kind of like his coming out party. He was doing some of the most craziest moves. He was just insane with the finger breaking, and then Karrion Kross just being this monster of a heel. And then you had Johnny Gargano just doing Johnny Gargano things, Adam Cole doing Adam Cole things, just being two of the greatest in-ring workers of all time, in my opinion. Then you had Kyle O'Reilly, who up to this point was only in was only in Undisputed Era. That was the name of the group. So he didn't really do anything singles up until this point, and it was just everybody played their role perfectly. It was a fantastic match. It was Karrion Kross retaining at the very end and showing and proving that he deserved to be in the spot that he was in. Next, we go to Triple A. I don't know the actual name of the show. I know it's something maybe of Titans or something. So I just wrote down Triple A Titans 2025. Laredo Kid, Jack Hartwell, and Javon Evans. These three, holy crap, they were pulling out moves I didn't think was possible. They were pulling out some of the most insane moves you will ever see in your entire life. They went all out. High-flying action through and through. Jack Cartwell's coming out party, which to a lot of people this is their first time seeing him. I've seen him from a previous match, which, spoiler, is actually in this list as well. And then Javon Evans, if you don't watch NXT, if you don't know about Javon Evans, he is the future of the business. He is one of the greatest in-ring performers going right now in professional wrestling, bar none. Like, Javon Evans' athletic ability and just that freaking amazing cutter that he pulled off. And then, like I said, Jack Hartwell, this was his coming out party. Just absolutely showing up and showing out. And Laredo Kid, I didn't know too much about Laredo Kid until Worlds Collide in June of 2025. And so this match was absolutely amazing. I actually did not see this match live, but I heard great things about it, so I went and rewatched it, and I'm so glad that I did, because holy crap, this match was fire from start to finish. Do yourself a favor and go watch this match. It's free on YouTube. Next match is probably one of the most violent, hard-hitting, what in the world matches that I've ever seen. We go to Championship Wrestling from Memphis, the Spooktacular of 2025, Modern Day Monsters versus Slaughterhouse. Holy crap. For crying out loud, somebody got hit, I believe it was Bruce, got hit over the head with a TV. A TV was used, was pulled out, and somebody got beat over the head with a TV. A legit TV. Somebody went through a door. And then the icing on the cake was thumbtacks and somebody got planted on the thumbtacks all over the dude's back. I believe it was, oh, I don't know which, I know it was a member of Slaughterhouse, I don't know which one, I don't know which one is which, to be honest. But it was either, James or Nick. But I believe it was, I don't know which one, but one of them had thumbtacks all over his back, all over his head, in his hair, stuck. It was just, oh my gosh. My God, this match was fantastic. Like, I went away from this match and leaving the Wrestle Center because it was the last match of that day, going, how can they top this? How possibly can they top this? This was fantastic. This proved that both of these teams are the future of professional wrestling. They put everything out there, and it was just amazing. Let me reiterate. Somebody got hit with a TV. There was kendo stick shots that hurt me just watching it. Somebody went through a door, and then somebody got planted in thumbtacks. Fantastic match, through and through. Modern Day Monsters picked up the win, but it was, any of these teams could have won, and I would have been happy. This match was fantastic. Next, we go to Bad Blood 2024. No, excuse me. We go to WrestleMania 40. Bayley versus Io Sky. Now, this match is underrated. And I'll tell you why. Because it went on right before Cody Roman. And if you go back and watch this match, it was fantastic. Some of the moves that were pulling out. The rose plant counter that Io Sky did, and the front flip kip up thing, it was just beautiful. Beautiful. I loved everything about it, dude. It was amazing. The storyline coming into this match was even just as amazing. With Bayley finding out that Damage Control was bullying her and talking about her behind her back, and then the Damage Control turning on Bayley, Dakota Kai turning on Bayley, but then Bayley in the end getting a heartfelt good moment, getting her comeuppance and dethroning Io Sky and getting one over on Damage Control. Next, we go back to Championship Wrestling from Memphis, March 25th, 2023. Austin Lane versus Tim Bosby. Now, these two had a series of matches, but in my opinion, I think this was their best one. You had Shane Douglas on commentary. A brand new Memphis Internet Championship design was revealed earlier that night, or earlier that day. And then it was just the technical masterpiece of Tim Bosby and Austin Lane, who is also great technical wrestler and just doing some high flying ability as well. It was just a fantastic match. It was back and forth, false finishes. You didn't. Honestly, I thought Austin Lane was going to win, and there was a few moments where I was like, okay, Austin Lane just won the match. No, he didn't. Okay, Tim Bosby just won the match. No, he didn't. Okay, Austin won. Nope. Tim won. Nope. And then in the end, Tim Bosby hits the lariat, 1, 2, 3, and still Memphis Internet Champion Tim Bosby. Fantastic, amazing match. Next, we go to Bad Blood 2024. I kind of spoiled it earlier, but Bad Blood 2024, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Holy crap. Drew McIntyre taking that just disgusting back bump on the stairs with the missed Claymore. Just ew. Just ew. Oh, it was horrible. It hurt me just watching it. And then Punk throwing a toolbox at Drew McIntyre, busting him open. I believe Punk got busted open. What was this spot with the bracelet? Was it? I don't remember what that spot was with the bracelet. I don't remember if someone got it shoved in their mouth. I think Drew McIntyre shoved it in Punk's mouth and then Claymored him. But it may have just been a slam on the bracelet pieces. I think it was a slam on the bracelet pieces. It may have been both for all I know. But this match was one of, if not the best Hell in a Cell match of all time. This match was probably the most violent Hell in a Cell match of all time. It was fantastic. It was amazing. These two put it all on the line. I hope we can revisit this feud in the future. And honestly, I would not mind another Hell in a Cell between these two, because this one was just so amazing. It should have main evented the show. Should not have opened. It should have main evented the show. But it didn't. We did not main event the show. They opened the show, but it was still the best match of the night and one of the best matches of 2024, hands down. Next, Crown Jewel 2023, LA Knight, Andrade, and Carmelo Hayes. This saved this pay-per-view. Straight up. This was a horrible PLE until this match. LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, and Andrade, they went out there for about 8 minutes, 9 minutes, and had the best match of the night. 9 minutes. That's all they had. That's it. And one of the best matches one of the best matches of 2023. Just Andrade and Carmelo Hayes doing, what they did in their best of 7 series, just going back and forth, doing high-flying action, high-paced, fast-paced, and then LA Knight just adding a whole nother dynamic to the match. And then the ending where Carmelo was going to do that tilt-a-whirl facebuster thing and gets reversed into a BFT by LA Knight. 1, 2, 3. LA Knight retained, almost said finally, but retained the United States champion, and what, again, was match of this night, and what, in my opinion, saved this PLE. Next, we go to SummerSlam 2022, the Street Profits versus the Usos for the tag team titles. Now, I'll be honest, heading into this match, I was like, oh god, like, this match is gonna be just run-of-the-mill. Usos are gonna win, which they did. But I was like, Usos are gonna win. Jeff Jarrett's gonna get involved for whatever reasoning. He shouldn't get involved. I don't even know why he's a special guest referee. Makes no sense. Blah, blah, blah. They exceeded expectations. They went back and forth. To my knowledge, to my remembrance, Jeff Jarrett did not get involved at all. He was impartial. He was right down the middle. The Usos and the Street Profits tore the house down. It was better than their what was the pay-per-view? Money in the Bank match, in my opinion. that had the screwy finish at the end. Then you had Jeff Jarrett getting, that hometown pop of Knoxville, Tennessee. But I feel like this was also kind of like a resurgence of the Street Profits, because the Street Profits weren't taken as serious as they should have been. And I feel like this was a wake-up call saying, hey, the Street Profits are not to be messed around with. The Street Profits are a credible tag team, and you need to look out for the Street Profits. And this match was, in my opinion, what woke everybody, including myself, back up on the Street Profits. So the Usos, Street Profits, SummerSlam 2022. Next, we go to NXT Stand and Deliver of 2024. Josh Briggs, Dijak, Obafemi. These three, match of the night. Match of the night, you could have argued match of the year. Definitely NXT match of the year. I can tell you that much. These three tore the house down. Obafemi only being on the roster for about 6 months up to this point. Just being the mountain that you cannot climb. Just being a freak of nature. Doing some just freakish monster moves. Josh Briggs, this was his coming out party that a lot of the people, including myself, didn't really know anything about Josh Briggs, but he showed everybody who he was. And then Dijak, how did you release this man? He was doing some moves that a man of his size, a dude that's 6'7" and 200 and something pounds, he should not be doing the moves that he was doing. And then Dijak and Josh Briggs just pulling out some of the hardest hitting big boots you will ever see in your life. It was insanity. Again, Josh Briggs, who again wasn't really familiar with the wider, with the wider of fan bases, or with the wider of fans, including myself, who showed up and showed out in this match. Obafemi, I feel like this was his first match that was like, oh, this is who that guy. Oh, okay. Alright, I'm on board. Excuse me. And then Dijak, again, a hidden gem in the WWE. A guy that is 6'7", 200 something pounds, pulling out moonsaults. He was doing moonsaults, backflips. He was doing everything. And in the end, Obafemi pins, I believe it was Dijak, Bam Josh Briggs, I don't remember, with the chokeslam. 1, 2, 3, still NXT North American Champion, Obafemi. Next, we go back to Championship Wrestling from Memphis. Spring Break 2023. Lindsay Dorado versus Zay Washington. If you want a match that is fast-paced, that is high-flying, that is blink and you'll miss something, this is it. This is it. These two, Zay Washington, Lindsay Dorado, were just doing some of the craziest dives ever. This was a win-win situation for me. If Zay won, which he did, great. If Lindsay would have won, great. Fantastic. Perfect. Okay? There was no wrong answer here. The only thing they could have gotten wrong here is if they, for whatever reason, just put on a stinker match. And I'm here to tell you that absolutely didn't happen. They put on one of the best matches, in my opinion, that Memphis has put on. They were amazing. You hear me? Amazing. And I really hope that Lindsay can come back and maybe we can rerun this. Or maybe we'll get Lindsay versus Marco Harris. But regardless, Zay Washington and Lindsay Dorado definitely deserved a spot on my list. Next, we go to Backlash 2024. Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles. Now, you get two phenomenal performers, no pun intended, and stick them in a ring. You're going to get a 5-star classic. And that is what we got. But then, you take the already 5-star classic that we were getting in the ring and add the greatest professional wrestling crowd of all time behind it. You have a recipe for one of the best matches of all time. I said it. I said what I said. This definitely had the potential to be 2024's match of the year. And it had the potential to be 2020's best match of the year. It was fantastic. Now, they had a second match at Clash at the Castle, which I don't think was as great as this match. But this match was fantastic. The crowd had the camera shaking. The crowd did not stop through this entire match. The crowd was going. And then again, we just had Cody and AJ putting on one of the best in-ring matches of all time. These two can fight forever, and I would not care. Cody Rhodes, the only thing I would say is that it was Cody Rhodes' first defense after he won the title, so nobody thought in any sense that he was going to lose. But regardless, this match was still held up in high standards for me. Next, we go to one of my favorite matches from Championship Wrestling from Memphis. Bret Michaels versus Mike Anthony, the Grind City Rumble 2021. Now, they've had several matches, but this match right here, oh my gosh. It started with Mike Anthony taunting Bret Michaels' daughters at ringside. Bret Michaels coming out, attacking him. Mike Anthony, was it Mike? I believe it was Mike that got thrown against the wall. Then Mike Anthony going on top of the bleachers and jumping off onto Bret Michaels onto the ground. And then it was just back and forth. Close call, false finishes after false finish after false finish. And you never knew who was going to win. And then in the end, Mike Anthony gets handcuffed. Gunshot lariat. 1, 2, 3. Bret Michaels retained the Memphis Heritage Championship. And what would be one of the best matches in Memphis wrestling history so far. I'm telling you, Mike Anthony, look this dude up. He is the future of this business. He is the future of this business. Mark my words. He's going to be signed very soon. I say that, but selfishly, I don't want him to get signed soon because I want him in Memphis, so I get the privilege of seeing him live every time I go. But if he's on the screen by the end of the year, well deserved. He deserves every bit of it. He deserves everything coming his way. He deserves the credit that he's hopefully going to get, that he is going to get in the future. Because this man, his in-ring ability, perfect. His mic work, some of the... I'm getting ahead of myself. His mic work is better than some on WWE. I said what I said, and I mean it. Fully. 100%. I mean it. Next, we go to NXT Stand and Deliver 2025. Trick Williams, Javon Evans, Obafemi. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I know NXT has put on some absolute heaters in the history of NXT. This is my favorite NXT match of all time. Javon Evans just being Javon Evans. Being one of the most... just one of the best in-ring performers going right now. Then you had Obafemi just being, again, the mountain you cannot climb. And then Trick Williams just being, again, one of the best performers in professional wrestling right now. He just... and then you put them all in the same ring at the same time. They're going to put on a classic. And that is exactly what they put on. I was rooting for Javon, but Oba returning here, I'm not going to complain. It was fantastic. And matter of fact, after I finish this, I'm going to go rewatch this match because it was that good. It was fantastic. What a match these three put on. Next up, we'll go to WrestleMania 39, Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. Now, was this match like a 5-star classic? No. Was this match like in-ring one of the best? No. But it was entertaining. It was fun. You had father versus son. You had Dom, the son, who was taunting his mother and his sister during the match, throwing water in his sister's face. And then you had Rey Mysterio, who at one point was hitting him with the belt, and then switched to the chunkla, and then Dom was gonna hit Rey with the chain. Bad Bunny comes, steals the chain. Rey hits 619. 1, 2, 3. Again, was this like the perfect match? No. But it was such a fun match, and it was just a very enjoyable match. I could not leave it off. Next, we'll go to Worlds Collide 2025, the one that happened back in June of this year. And we got Rey Fenix versus Javon Evans versus Ethan Page versus Laredo Kid. Holy crap. They put everything they had on the line. They put everything they had on the line. Javon Evans, again, just being Javon Evans. Rey Fenix, again, just being one of the one of the best in-ring high flyers going right now. Then you had Laredo Kid, who, this was my first time really seeing Laredo Kid. And he, for me, showed up and showed out. And then you had Ethan Page, who slowed the match down, but still added a fantastic dynamic to this already amazing match. So yeah, it did, man, but he did his job. He did what he needed to do, and he snuck in and stole the pin, and ended up retaining the North American Championship. This match was fantastic, and a lot of fun. Next, we go to SummerSlam 2021. We go to John Cena taking on Roman Reigns. Now, this match is honestly one of my dream matches that happened. This match I was so happy to get, and I do believe this match is what started the 2.999 kickouts from Roman Reigns. Because there was a lot of moments where I was like, Cena just won. 1, 2, and the ref's hand would be this close. And Reigns would kick out. And then I said, this is it. Cena just won. Oh. But Roman Reigns retaining in this match, you're not going to hear a complaint. I love the reign. And this is one of my top 3 favorite matches of Roman Reigns' Universal Championship reign, because it was just a dream match of mine, and it was just back and forth, false finish after false finish after false finish, and it was just perfect from start to finish. Not a lot to talk about here, but I had to include it. WrestleMania 40, Drew vs. Seth. Drew McIntyre vs. Seth Rollins. Now, was it just a finisher fest? Yes. Was it only about 5-6 minutes? Sure. But the 5 to 6 minutes that we got was fantastic. Was absolutely fantastic. We got the infamous bored at work tweet during this match. And then it technically don't count, but I'm including it. The Damian Priest cash in at the very end, where CM Punk beats down Drew McIntyre. Damian Priest cashes in. South of Heaven's 1, 2, 3, and Drew McIntyre's 5-minute reign came to an end. Yeah, again, not a lot to talk about. Wasn't like the best match in the ring, but it was just so impactful, and so it pushed the narrative that they were all trying to go for, and it worked marvelously. It worked perfectly. Next is a match that a lot of people dogged on before this match actually happened. A lot of people said that it was going to be a bad match, that it was going to be horrible, that it shouldn't be happening. And after the match, if you're still saying that, you're just a hater. Clash in Paris 2025, Logan Paul versus John Cena. Name me one thing about this match that was bad. I'm waiting. I'll wait. You can't. It went on for about 30-40 minutes. You had Cena paying homage to a bunch of a few superstars. I'll be honest, I don't remember all of them. I remember Baron Corbin. He at the end of days. But it was perfect. This match was so good. Logan Paul, I don't care what any of y'all say. Logan Paul deserves to be in the ring. Deserves to be in the spot that he is in. Deserved this match. And I'm so glad we got this match, because it had even exceeded my expectations. I wasn't one saying that this match was going to be bad, but I was in the field of, let's see how this goes. Is it going to be bad? Is it going to be good? Let's find out how this is about to go, because it could go either way. And I'm happy to report that it skyrocketed. It was fantastic. John Cena getting the win, which he absolutely should have. And again, just overall, it was fantastic match. Next, we go to Backlash of 2025. We go to Randy Orton versus John Cena. Now, John Cena versus Randy Orton is my favorite, just one-on-one rivalry of all time. I say one-on-one because you have like Daniel Bryan and the Authority, Sammy and the Bloodline, Sammy and Kevin in the Bloodline. So, my favorite one-on-one rivalry of all time is Randy and Cena. So, I was happy to get this match again. And it did not disappoint. You had the beautiful callback of Cena going for the AA. Orton counters another RKO through a table. You had the kind of overbooking with R-Truth, but it was perfect. You had Randy Orton RKOing every person that moved. And then in the end, you had John Cena defeating Randy Orton, hitting the AA 1, 2, 3, and putting an end to a legendary rivalry in a fantastic, amazing, phenomenal, any word you want to put there, match. This next match is again one that I'm cheating on. Cody versus Seth, anytime they fought. You had the match at WrestleMania 38. You had the match at Hell in a Cell 2022. And you had the match at Crown Jewel 2025. You had their match at Backlash. I'm actually excluding that because that one was kind of just meh. But the first and last one in 2022 and this past one in 2025, anytime they got in the ring, picture perfect. They know how to put on a good match. I don't think they know how to put on a bad match, though. But they know how to put on a phenomenal match. Especially the Hell in a Cell, Cody wrestling with the torn pec and that ugly, just horrible, the bruise that covered just a huge margin of his chest. Oh, it's disgusting. And then Seth targeting that through the whole match, just taking the kendo stick and just jamming it into his pec the whole entire match. It was ugly. It was disgusting, but it was fantastic at the same time. So, Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. Next, we go back to Championship Wrestling from Memphis. And we go to, for some reason I didn't write the date down, but the Memphis Tag Team Championship ladder match from 2025. You had, see if I can remember all the teams. No, I can't. I know we had Kay Toomer and Big John Dalton. We had the Twins of Salem. We had the Righteous Path. We had the Hollywood Clique, who went in as tag team champions. I think it was the LA Hustlers. Who was the 16? Was it? Shoot. I don't know. Maybe the Business Dogs. But I don't remember. But this match, you had Jackson Crowley getting slammed onto the ladder. You had I believe it was Ash Taylor that got, I think it was thrown off of a ladder. The only thing that this match really was missing was I wish we had tables. I wish we got, and maybe we did, and I'm just, completely forgetting about it. But I wish there was a memorable, table spot that we got between these two. Or between these teams, rather. So, again, fantastic match. I was shocked to see that Memphis did a ladder match, but I'm so glad they did, and it definitely deserved a spot on my list. Next, we go to Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte at WrestleMania 39. Top 5 greatest women's matches of all time. Period. Right here. They put everything they had on the line. Back and forth. It was just false finish, false finish, false finish, false finish. And finally, in the end, Rhea Ripley I believe she hit the avalanche riptide and ends up pinning Charlotte for the win. Now, I was disappointed in the feud. The build up to this match was like none. But the actual match itself was, again, one of the greatest female matches of all time. It was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Let me tell you something. If you have not seen this match, do yourself a favor and go watch this, because it was phenomenal. Again, I know I sound like a broken record. One of the greatest women's matches of all time was Rhea Ripley, Charlotte, WrestleMania 39. Next, we go to Money in the Bank 2021. We go to Roman Reigns versus Edge. This is another one that really kicked off the close finishes of the Roman Reigns match. There was a few moments where I thought Roman just lost the title, and then he'd kick out, and then, Roman just retained. Edge would kick out. Roman just lost. He would kick out. And then in the end, Edge had it on the crossface. Seth Rollins comes running in. Super kicks Edge. Curb stomps him. No, I don't think he curb stomps him. But he super kicked him. Roman locks in the guillotine. And Edge passes out. And then, again, shouldn't count, but I'm going to count it. John Cena's return at the very end was beautiful. Next, we go to, again, I didn't write the date down, but the SmackDown before WrestleMania 41. Street Profits, DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, and the TLC. They put it all on the line. For crying out loud, Angelo Dawkins used a prosthetic leg. There was a prosthetic leg used in this match. It was fantastic. This match should have been on Mania. Hands down. It shouldn't have been on SmackDown. It should have been on the WrestleMania card. Because this match, from start to finish, was perfect. It was perfect. Street Profits ended up coming out of this victorious and retaining the tag team titles. But these, I'm telling you, they deserved the WrestleMania card. They went out there and proved and showed why they deserved the WrestleMania card. Next, Sami Zayn versus Gunther at WrestleMania 40. Now, a lot of people wanted this to be Chad Gable Gunther, and I understand the story, but Sami Zayn and Gunther put on one of Gunther's best matches on the main roster. One of Sami Zayn's best matches on the main roster. These two tore the house down. I expected Gunther to win, and when I tell you when Sami Zayn ended up winning, my jaw hit the floor. I said, oh my gosh, this was my exact quote. Oh my gosh, this just happened. I was in complete shock. I did not expect Sami Zayn to defeat Gunther in this amazing, fantastic match they were given. Honestly, I'm not upset that Sami won. I would have preferred Gunther to win, but Sami ended up having a fantastic IC title run anyways. So, and Gunther went on to do bigger and better things. So, I'm not complaining. WrestleMania 40, Sami Zayn versus Gunther. Next, we go back to Championship Wrestling from Memphis, December 9th, 2023. Tim Bosby, Josh Alexander, and Aaron Roberts. It was supposed to be Tim Bosby and Josh Alexander, and then Aaron Roberts gets put in the match. And what a technical masterpiece this match was. This match cooked in every level you can imagine. Tim Bosby, boss-plexing Aaron Roberts, Josh Alexander and Tim Bosby being two of the greatest technical wrestlers in the business. And if I'm remembering correctly, this was the match that Aaron Roberts won the Memphis Internet Championship. I believe I'm correct in saying that. Aaron Roberts. So, we had a fantastic match that was ended with a title change. Fantastic match all the way around. And it 100% deserves a spot on the list. Next, it's a match that hurts. It's a match that hurts my heart. Match that broke me. Saturday night's main event 2025. John Cena versus Gunther. And John Cena's last match ever. It hurts. Hurts to say that. It hurts worse to say that Gunther made John Cena give up. Made John Cena quit. Made John Cena tap out. But overall, this match was amazing. It was, again, it wasn't the best of matches, but it did what it needed to do. You had John Cena getting his moves in. You had Gunther being the big bad bully heel. And then just trying to lock on the super hold. Cena kept fighting and kept fighting and kept fighting. Never give up. Never give up. And then the smile. And the just subtle tap. And that was it. And then just everything that happened afterwards. But the video package they played for Cena. Cena leaving all of his stuff in the mat. Or in the ring. It was just, it hurts. But it was a beautiful, beautiful send-off to John Cena's greatest of all time career. Next is Worlds Collide again, the one back in June. Vikingo versus Chad Gable. Holy crap. They tore the house down. This could have been on WrestleMania. This could have been on an actual WWE PLE. And it would have cooked the same way. This match absolutely slapped. From start to finish, they were pulling out some of the greatest moves you will ever see. Vikingo, in the end, hits that fantastic 630 senton and ends up pinning Chad Gable for the AAA Mega Championship. What a match this was. What a match. I'm honestly tempted to go back and rewatch this again because it was just such a great, fantastic, fast-paced, high-flying, kind of technical Chad Gable match. This next match is a PLE saver. WrestlePalooza 2025, Io Sky vs. Stephanie Vaquer. No doubt, easily the best match of the night. Because the rest of the card, minus the mixed tag, was garbage. This pay-per-view was garbage. Except for this match. This match cooked. These two women went out there and proved they are the future of the women's division. Now, I did expect Stephanie Vaquer to win, and she did. But I'll be honest with y'all. If Io would have won this match, you wouldn't have heard one complaint come out of me. They cooked with this match. From, again, beginning to end. Every move they pulled out was fantastic. I love Io's over the moonsault. I love Stephanie Vaquer's little twisty senton backflip thing that she does. This match was perfect and proves that these two deserve the main event spot they are in. Next, we go back to Championship Wrestling from Memphis, February 12th, 2021. David Ali versus Mike Anthony in the first round. I think it was the first round of that year's Cobra Cup. Holy crap. I'm telling y'all, Mike Anthony is so good in that ring. And he, from this point on, proves that he deserves the main event spotlight through and through. David Ali, I don't know where he's at right now. He had this match in Memphis. I thought he was going to be a Memphis wrestler. And he had a couple more after this. Maybe he got signed to somewhere. I don't know where he's at. But he is fantastic. He is a hidden gem. Wherever he got signed or wherever he is at right now, they have themselves a gem with David Ali. If we could ever get David Ali back in Memphis, I would absolutely love that. Because I just loved the work that he put in, and especially in this match. But Mike Anthony, David Ali, Memphis Wrestling, February 12th, 2021. Next, we go to Evolution 2025, and we go to Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. Now, this match kind of came out of the blue, and a lot of people were complaining about it. I was not one. I was like, these are two of my favorites, battling it out again. I'm here for it. And they did not disappoint. They fought all over the arena. They put on probably the greatest female match of all time. Probably the best female match of all time. Definitely the best female match of this year, and in contention for the overall match of this year. So there was no way that I was leaving it off of my list. Excuse me. And then just to add the cherry on top, you had Naomi doing the unthinkable, doing the most shocking, not the most, but one of the most shocking cash-ins of all time. I thought Naomi was going to cash in at SummerSlam against Tiffany and Jade. No, she cashes in here and wins the Women's World Championship. And I lost my mind. I had to contain myself because I was in a hotel at the time, because I was in Michigan. But I lost my mind. It was fantastic. I loved everything about this match. Next is another kind of cheating because I've grouped Edge versus Seth Rollins in 2021. Any match they had was fantastic. You have Edge and Seth Rollins, two of the greatest performers or in-ring performers of all time. So when you put them in, especially their Crown Jewel Hell in a Cell match, oh my gosh. When you put them in the ring with each other, against one another, they're going to put on classic after classic, and that is exactly what these two performers did. Now, I'm going to stop it here. I'm going to stop this recording. There's going to be a part 2 uploaded, and that is going to take us from number 39, because we're on number 38 now. Edge and Seth was 38. So it's going to take us from 39 all the way down to 100. And then at the end of the next video, 39 through 100, it's going to be when I tell you what my favorite match of the 2020s has been. So, stay tuned for part 2 to see what number 39 through 100 will be. So we're not here for another hour. So as always, I love you all. Stay safe and peace.